Well, 2.0 is coming out now. I mean, Oxford just came out with some study saying that people that were affected with coronavirus, or is it a new one? Nobody knows, now have brain damage. So they're retarded. And it's like, all right.
Oh,
So now we're going to have to be worried about having retardation from something that is airborne but isn't airborne, that kids can't get but they might get. It's like, make up your mind, man. Do they get it or do they not? Is it racist and it goes to black people or not? Like, they're constantly changing the story. So this is where we're at right now. We're going through the motions, and yes, people that have gotten whatever this is, or whatever version they have, because they're literally importing people from Mexico with
yeah.
God knows what, into Texas and California to cause chaos. Newsom just released criminals. I mean, I feel sorry for everyone living in California right now. Like, hide your kids or
Yeah.
move. Move. Uh,
Right.
there's states that you just move. It's way cheaper too. I'll tell you that. Way cheaper than the other states. You're gonna be like, gas for $2. What's up? Cigarettes for less than $10. Gimme. A shot at the bar for $3, not 10. You know, uh, come out. Come to the real America. Stay away from there. Let that be. That dystopian future stuff. Right.
Yeah, it's yeah, that place is just beyond ridiculous. I lived out there for 11 years and got out 20 years ago, and I know it. I mean, man, I'll tell you, it's a beautiful state, it's a beautiful place, it's beautiful weather, but it's got a bunch of idiots running it, and they're running it into the ground. They're destroying it, really. And you're right about the cost of living. I mean, it's so unbelievable. It's just night and day, or even worse. So people, yeah, and that people are leaving, aren't they? I mean, I'm hearing that people are leaving the cities now. New York City, isn't that the same way? I mean, that place is crazy.
Oh my
It,
god. That's my hometown, man. My
it,
she lives downtown. I mean, it's just it's so horrible because the cities is coming into fruition. I mean, I warned about it online under another name and posing as a man back in 2000. Yeah, I did. I mean, come on, we were at the time where women were wearing shoulder pads, right? Early 2000s, right? And, 90s where they were empowered and getting out of aerobics and stuff. So, when I went online, I used a couple people, and, I had really, I'll tell you what, the only person that knows like the whole spiel of it was Art Bell. I felt really bad because I wanted to connect with him again. Because the last time he saw me was, let's say, like 2008 in California.
mm-hmm.
So we met up there. And so I was going to see him again. Actually, I did that Xbox, where we talk through the
Oh
Xbox.
yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And I was supposed to be flying out to meet him. And he called me fat. He was like, "What happened to you?" And I was like, seriously, like, I like turned it off. So I really feel bad that I didn't see him again because we were thinking of actually bringing that back up. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he he passed away.
Yeah.
But I did warn people in 2000 and 2001 how the future was bleak, how it was different, how it was the country and the cities. And this is exactly what they want. I mean, you heard Biden, and if you look at his plan and if you actually read it, it's about annihilating the country and that cities are only good and that
Mm-hmm.
you have to stay within the city limits so it'll be great. Uh, if people read it, it's hundreds of pages long. And it's like, I'm just like, what the? So how is this ecological if you just turn every single piece of ground into concrete and people live in apartments? Like,
Well, it sounds. Is this a variation of Agenda 21?
well, so the future back then, as the reality was panning out before 9/11, 9/11 shifted it
Mm-hmm.
and pushed it back. There was a civil war coming in 2002, 2003. And that would have been on the heels of a very bad, uh, you know, depression, market crashes, the stuff that happened in 2000 were ridiculous. Things were falling. So what's happening is what was happening then, excuse me, was that this was all going to pan out, the depression, and then people would take arms. There would be a great civil war. And in the end, the cities would remain and everyone else, was considered the country.
Mm-hmm.
Across the world, people were segregated in as cities and country. So, the country though was harmed because the cities were able to arm themselves to disable us from having technology. So we had to build back up technology. So, we would look to the past to rebuild because there's only so much you can do when you're dependent on technology and they've eradicated it. And there aren't, you don't have the availability, kind of like a picture like an EMP that everyone says. So that was the future. 9/11 delayed that. It postponed it because what was realized is that the cities were quite small and they didn't have the power. The people weren't ready for it. They needed to be conditioned more. So a new 16-year plan was played out. And this was the plan of, Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary Clinton to come after Bush. So this was it. Unfortunately, they didn't take account that us Gen Xers are pretty vicious, man. We grew up when Nintendo was coming out. We grew up when cell phones came out. We're pretty adaptable and we don't miss a beat. We remember stuff. We still got whacked with a ruler and then it was illegal. We were in that transition period. So we're dangerous. Those
Mm-hmm.
in ages of 35 and 55 are the most dangerous right now to their movement, not the elderly. The elderly are old school, right? That's why they kill them off. But we are the most dangerous. So that was the plan. And this is exactly where they're taking it. I mean, his detailed plan describes just that. And I warned about it, almost 20 years ago.
This sounds kind of a little John Titor-ish to me. You know who that is?
Sombrero.
That's number 7. We've had a hell of a night. Okay, I've kept you here for over 2 hours, and I know I'm busy, and I know you're probably busier than I am. So, is there anything else that you would like to talk about or discuss or get out tonight while we're on a roll?
Well, just remember this week is going to be pretty, pretty, pretty interesting.
Okay, exciting, interesting.
Exciting, interesting. We're going to see my old boss come into the picture.
Oh, that's going to be good news.
Yeah, I can't wait too. It better happen the way it is. I mean, we got 2 out of 3. Let's go for number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because we
Okay.
gotta have all of them to get it.
Right.
We're like I said, the problem that Durham is having and Huber, everybody keeps forgetting about Huber, right? And
Yeah.
they're prosecutors. The problem that is present is that it's so widely known that it's hard to not get a tainted jury.
Right.
The getting an indictment back in the day at a grand jury is kind of like indicting a ham sandwich. You could get
Mm-hmm. Yep.
not on this level. On this level, it's like on another level that it has to be so ironclad that the facts smack you in the face. And if you were to say, no, I can't return an indictment, you can't even justify it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like saying, look, this is the gun, this is the fingerprint, right?
Yep.
Belongs to this person, and then they come up with stupid questions like, well, did you see them shoot him?
Yeah. Did you get it on tape?
Right.
Yeah.
So it has to be. This is why even the Maxwell indictment is so whitewashed, right? It's like, what? It should be a list because when someone gets arrested, like for something like breaking into a store, right? They have an indictment list that's like 20 feet long.
Right.
You used a hanger for a weapon. Your boot was a weapon. They just and these people have the most, stupidest, indictments, right? So, like I said, 2 out of 3, we need 3, and that's it. And so this is where the hurdles are. And so as people are pushing, oh, bring, what do you mean findings? This is going to be indictments, not findings. They're
Right.
going to be like, I just rated them. So hopefully there's no delay, because even other indictments that have been returned partially, they're constantly in discussion. Like, can we put this? Can we put that? Oh, we have more questions. That's the way grand juries go. They constantly come back with questions.
Hmm.
You have to go dig, and then it's on hold, and they're like, yeah, bring me stuff. That's how they go. So you can't just like whoop out an indictment, and pull it out your behind and say, just trust us. It's not like the Obama FISA court where they go to the judge that knew that they were illegally wiretapping and collecting information. With that information, she had just spanked them with and said, give us a FISA warrant. People are awake now, and they're seeing it. And we just have to, if they're going through pain, we're going to go through pain too. I mean, if a demon's screeching, your ears are going to hurt, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that grand jury process is, people think about a grand jury, they just sit there and watch and listen and then decide, and it's not like that. They're very interactive with the process, unlike a petit jury who sits and watches the prosecution put their case on, then the defense, and then they make a determination.
No, the
So
grand jury, yeah, they ask for details.
yeah, they're very interactive with the process.
Yeah.
It's very different from a petit jury, like I say, who what we see from the O.J. Simpson trial or whatever you watch. They're pretty passive. They sit there and they watch, and then they come up with a determination. But yeah, the grand juries are very, very interactive. So
And don't
well,
forget, you're not there. It's just the grand jury and the prosecutors.
right,
So
right,
the grand jury, if they're going to give a blind, secret subpoena or anything, because that's how subpoenas happen too, right? The
yep,
grand jury's like, well, I want to see this. And they're like, well, I need a subpoena. Here you go. Grand jury says, give them a subpoena. I need to satisfy this before I can see if that question is satisfied. See, if people actually knew the process of a grand jury, they wouldn't be complaining. Why isn't anything done? It's not that easy.
right,
Because, you've got a panel of people and each person has their own question. This can roll over for like forever. This is why we have so many sealed indictments, because they're constantly ongoing. And then if they find, say, for example, you're investigating, Schmo, and they're like, well, I want to make sure that he trafficked children. Can you get me this? And then you go digging, and you're like, oh, damn, now I found another Schmo connected to this Schmo. So I got to get this Schmo. So then I go to that grand jury, because once I get the stuff from that Schmo and that indictment, then I could get an indictment on Schmo number one. This is the way it works. And it's so difficult, but that's what's beautiful about our justice, that everyone is afforded, good justice during a grand jury. They could sit there and say, look at all our paperwork. And the grand jury says, nah, man, there was no intent. Like,
yeah,
a woman walking through a supermarket eating an orange, and they're like, we want to indict her for theft of the orange. They're like, dude, she was casually walking, she forgot. Like, we're not going to indict a person for that. They think about these things. So it's good that, if people actually knew the process, they would appreciate how long it is. And especially when we're talking about former CIA director, former DNI, former FBI,
yeah, yep,
and
yep.
that's another one. Why the heck is Evanina sitting right by Ratcliffe? I do not know what the heck's going on with that one, but I'll leave it at that.
Well, and also the grand jury, you have to have a grand jury for federal felonies anyway, and that's what a lot of people don't understand either. You have to have a grand jury for a federal felony. The Supreme Court decided that in a case, so according to the Constitution. So that's a very high bar, and so everybody just needs to be patient. It's coming. And of course, that's one of the things that the coronavirus COVID did is delayed that process too. That was one of the reasons that it's been delayed, was because of that. So now, all right, one more question. Do you know who's going to replace Barr?
That was a sombrero moment. And for those that are asking what the sombrero is, that's our safe word.
You should.
Here's the thing. I can't, not because I don't want to say, and I kind of sometimes throw it around in conversation so it doesn't like it's not deliberate, but I don't want to reveal source.
Yeah, I understand.
When I access certain systems, yeah, I was expressing that to you earlier too. I have to use burner phones.
Mm-hmm.
And it drives me, you have no idea how much money I spend on burner phones.
Yeah.
If I hurry up and get something and I know, that phone's compromised, if I don't finish all my work and I destroy the phone, I have to go buy another one.
Right.
It kicks me in the tush. Like I have spent an insane amount just in the past 2 weeks just buying burner phones. And I don't know, maybe it's because I have my fingers in too many pies right now, but I'm always forgetting. And I always can't go to the same store. I mean, at some point they're gonna be like, "Damn, girl."
Well, they got cameras too.
Well, yeah, well, no, I'm careful, but
Okay.
it's like where you get burner phones. Come on, but the thing is, yeah, they have cameras everywhere though, if they really want to look. But the thing is, it's so frustrating. So rather than reveal source, because lately I've been seeing a big crackdown on independent journalists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, I've noticed it from people getting banned, from people not being able to do anything. So,
Yeah.
you know, so I have to be careful on that one. I've hinted it. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I sometimes,
I know people get frustrated with me, and I spent last weekend with one a guy in our network, and he gave me all kinds of information because you can't talk about it over the phone because obviously comms are compromised, and so when you meet, you get a lot of information, but I can't give it out. I mean, I just can't talk about it, so it frustrates everybody, and that's the way it goes. And I understand. I understand.
well, look, I tell my listeners everything. But I tell everyone who I am. I don't, but without being direct.
Yeah.
Because we've been spoon fed so long, we've lost the ability to listen. We're only
I,
hearing things.
right.
That's the problem. We're hearing things and not listening. We should be listening more, because if we listen more, then we wouldn't be in this situation we are. But in the age of consumerism, because that's what it is, the mainstream media looks at you as a consumer. The
Yeah.
the Democrats see you as you're the currency, man.
Right.
When they're like, "Oh, you're gonna get this free stuff." If anything is free, you are the currency. Period. That is, the rule. But anyway, yeah. So we're waiting next week. Some really good stuff is going to be coming out. The Roger Stone thing popped Friday, like I said it would. Obviously, I thought, because I didn't see him say anything or, show that it was coming for Friday. I was like, oh, he's going to do it at the rally. But then the rally was canceled. I was like, oh, he's going to do it now,
Mm-hmm.
because we needed it over the weekend. And for those of you complaining about DACA, right? Because he came out with that DACA thing at the same time, I was kind of like, calm down, guys. He needs to throw a bone. And when he's referring to DACA, he's referring to those that are still under the age of 18, that are first generation, belonging to non-criminal parents. So, this is like the trade-off, so the media can't, be so vicious. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh
Because
yeah.
do that, he's a good person.
Yep.
Well, none of us in the United States, no American can truly say, well, you little kid, your parent broke the law and brought you here. Yeah, and your parent will be penalized with it, probably never allowed to have citizenship. And when you grow up, they need to go back. But the kid will be able to stay. You know what I mean? If it's not extenuating circumstances, you shouldn't have broken the law. Illegal is illegal. You broke the law and came here, period.
Yeah.
So, we have a compassionate president, a strong president, and he's being targeted. So, I mean, if anything, we should just all pray and, keep in mind that everything's going to get easier after the 20th, even though it's going to get crazier, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It can get real crazy, man.
Well, it's the process we have to go through to get to the other side. Everybody has to understand that.
Yeah. Are you going down to the RNC?
Doubt it. I doubt it. I
Oh,
would
really?
love to, but I hear they're going to move it. I heard they're talking about moving that outside.
Well, I don't know. Well, we have Radio Row. So Red State Talk Radio is going to be like there for like 24/7 coverage.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so I'm definitely going there. I'll do my show live from there. I fly out Monday night, so I'll do my show and then fly out, and I'll be there all week. And so it'll be interesting. More so for me, it's just to kind of talk to people that I don't really talk about.
Right.
Talk to, I don't know, maybe Ronna McDaniel might even ban me for writing that article about her. Um,
Oh.
what, oh my God. Like, she handed the keys to the RNC. This is why we moved the venue, by the way, right? You know that, right?
Yeah.
Everything else
Yeah.
is covered. You know that, right? Because I know we're all like, oh, you didn't want the RNC, you loser. And it's like, no, that's not why. So, you know, Ronna needs to go. I mean, the whole GOP needs to be gutted. All of them, schlapped, the whole 9 yards.
I hope that, and it'll happen soon, right? I mean, it'll happen soon.
Man, I hope so. I mean, where I'm at, the GOP here is so lame. They don't even respond to emails, and they're like, "Pay here so you could be this." It's like I'm not paying you anything because you don't even
Yeah.
show up or send emails or do anything. Like, anyway, so everybody needs to pray. Everything's gonna get a lot better after this week. Um,
Yeah.
it's gonna get way better after this week. So it'll be fun to watch. And for those that listen to real news can see it. Those people out there throwing negative juju, who knows? They could be employed by General Jones.
Oh, okay. All right. We've earned 8 sombreros tonight, so I think I think we've done pretty well in that regard. I feel good. I thank you very much. You are a rock star for Red State Talk Radio. You have a website which we're putting up on our screen. Tori says a lot of good articles. I go to your website and I start reading and I just get lost in all the stuff that you have. So
You should see some of my old stuff on Big League Politics before they changed. So,
oh, it's not up anymore.
oh no,
Or
it's still there. It's still there.
is it still there?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still there. I wrote the stuff on Crossfire Hurricane that's going to come out. You'll see that I even put the IP address. Where they were exchanging information, like right there, and no one was paying attention. This is like 2.5 years ago. So, yeah, I've got stuff on there. I write on Loomered. So yeah, you can find a lot of my stuff everywhere. I used to have HuffPo and Breitbart, but everything changes. So
Yeah. Okay. So everybody listen to Tori. Her show is from noon to 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday on Red State Talk Radio. Tune in. I do as much as I can and get all kinds of good news and good information. So I think everybody should do that. Do you want to tell everybody goodbye and we'll sign off?
yes, good night, everyone. God bless. Pray, and remember, no pain, no gain. Right. So just pray for those that do not see. As long as our eyes are open. So, Paladin, thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure. Tons of fun this Friday night. You should be on too.
Yeah, what else we got to do on a Friday night, right? But besides talk about this stuff.
Are
I
you
think
sure my age? Come on, man. Seriously, I'm supposed to be like.
no, it's good because this is the time that we need to be doing this. And I know we'd both rather be doing other things, but I think this is good that we're able to do this because the word needs to get out. And a lot of people are waking up and they're looking for people who can give them information. They're looking, and that's a good thing. And we need to be there for them. So, and I think
No, speak for yourself. There's nothing better that I would like to do than talk politics. I'm Greek. Politics is in my DNA.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Thank
Yep.
you. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay. And you too, Tori. Thank you for coming on our show, and we'll definitely have you back sometime soon.
Thank you for having me. God bless.
Okay.
Bye.
And good night, everybody, and have a great weekend. And we'll see you sometime next week. I'm sure we'll do another podcast. And so have a good, safe weekend, and we'll see you later. Paladin out.